So I had to update my Covain to the latest patch. In the previous video, I said I was going to find a way to increase the amount of accessories I could use, and I found a way to do it, which is just updating the game on Steam. Also, aside from that, there's some other tweaks that I made that I'm going to cover here, or rather, that I'm going to cover here. This game is heavily modded, just caked in mods. All of the more famous anime swords, equipment, parts, including not limited to accessories, hair, all that stuff. All of it's modified. Okay, so here I'm just going to showcase and we'll cover the things that I've tweaked. Given the new patch, first and foremost, I'm going to have to say it here. There's a new slider that the game introduces, which is a height and a size of head slider. Aside from that, there's new body types that it integrates to, specifically for the females. Well, most outstandingly for the females, which just increases lady parts, and of course makes the dudes slightly buffer. So basically every character has been tweaked. So for Alucard, I just made him tall. You'll immediately notice his height. He's his head touches nearly the top of the screen. He's so big. And also I made him thinner. For Father Alexander, he's also tall, and I also made him thin too. I did some other slight adjustments to his accessories, but nothing outstanding. For Hunter D, I made him extremely tall also. Again, a good way to gauge a character's height is by how close to the top of the screen their head is. Other than making him taller, I also made him slightly thinner. He's very thin in the animation he's from. For Nezuko, as you can see here, she's very short, and I also made her head the maximum size, so she's tiny with a big head, because she's a kid. Angel from KOF, you can see her height from here. I also went ahead and tweaked her body too. I made her I just modified her body, gave her a different body type. I think this is type B. But I just made her slightly more curvy while at the same time thinning her out because she was kind of wide. For Guts, I made Guts. He's extremely short. This is young Guts, and younger Guts is he's short and he has a slightly larger head, given he's a kid. This is my normal Guts or my pre-black armor Guts. The only modification I made to this Guts is pretty much his height. As you can see here, he's really tall, and he's as buff as the character can get. This is post Berserker armor or post Black armor Guts. Oh yeah, his arm. For his left, your right. His arm there. You'll notice that due to due to the increasage of usable accessories due to the patch, I was able to modify his arm and give him a more pronounced metal arm. The same applies to the post Berserker armor Guts too. I was able to modify his arm, as you can see there. It's way more pronounced, and of course his height. He's very tall. He's pretty much maxed out in height because Guts. If you're not familiar with the manga or anime of Berserk, Guts is like 6'8", 6'9". He's a pretty big dude. Next up is Sirius Victoria. I only modified her height. I also modified her eyes too. She specifically her pupil. I'll zoom in here. As you can see there, the pupil for her eye, I modified it. Instead of the glowing pupil that I had in the previous video, as you can see here, it's more detailed to mimic the art style of Hellsing Ultimate. Even though the glowing eye was fine too, but just personal preference. And at the moment I prefer that eye type. So this is just V2 of Sirius Victoria. It's pretty much the same thing, but different color scheme. It's a vampiric version of her. She's slightly thinner than her normal or normal version of the character. But they're pretty much the same. This is Baby Doll from Sucker Punch. The only thing I modified on Baby Doll was her height. I made her I made her slightly shorter. This is Bulma from Dragon Ball. This is her as a Playboy bunny. I took advantage of the new body types. And I gave her a very thin body type. Given in Dragon Ball, she's young. She's not she's not old, so she has to have a young body. And also her height. I made her shorter with a large head. Given if you've seen Dragon Ball has big headed. It's the art style has big heads. So this is Rachel Foley from Resident Evil. The tweak I made to her was specifically her hair. As you can see here, I had to fill in a gap. She had an issue with her bangs. She had a gap on this side of her head that I filled in with the hair piece, given the the new or the extended um, ability to use more accessories. I also modified her skin slightly, gave her freckles, more defined freckles. Uh, Also added a couple more accessories to her. As you can see here, she has a gun holster on her leg, which she actually wears in the game, in the actual Resident Evil game. And I also put the tank on her back. She actually has a giant red tank that she wears with this costume. And the end result is this looks a lot more accurate to how she looks. For Casca, the only change I made to Casca, aside from the new height modification here, as you can see, she's pretty short. Well, she's tall for a female character, but I added a cape. Um, Big Berserk fan. I know in Berserk, Casca has a cape. In fact, it's just not a long cape. So I was kind of skeptic about adding it, but after adding the cape, the end result is I like it. I like it. It still looks, it looks like Casca. This is handicap Casca or crazy Casca. Um, I don't think I touched anything on her aside from, of course, her height here, the new height slider. I made use of that to make her a proper height. This is Harley Quinn or Margot Robbie from the Suicide Squad movie. Tweak wise, the only thing I modified on this was, of course, I used the height slider to give her the proper height. And I also took her thong off. Actually, Margot Robbie doesn't wear a thong with her outfit. I'm not sure why I put that on her. And also, it's very hard to see. I'm gonna get in close here. The video should be 2K, so it'll be noticeable up close. But she has a belly button piercing now that I didn't even notice was part of the outfit. I just toggled it on. So just new height sliders, her new belly button ring, and that's pretty much it. And also the body type. I changed the body type too to be more accurate to how Margot looks. This is my Vincent Valentine. This is from Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1, the 1997 release version of Vincent Valentine. I took advantage of the update and the ability to add more accessories, and I went ahead and just modified his glove here, or rather gave him a glove. He's supposed to have a golden gauntlet in the game that I didn't have on previously due to limitations, but as you can see here, I have it now. And also his hair, I more accessory slots meant I could use more hair items. So as you can see, his hair, specifically the one over his right eye, the strand of hair that's poking out is a actual strand of hair now with physics, opposing to what I had previously. So those are modifications I made for Vincent. And Vincent's height, Vincent's about it's about the right height. This is my other version of Vincent Valentine. I call this the Advent Children or the remake Vincent. It's basically what he looks like in Advent Children. As you can see, I added the gauntlet for this Vincent too. It's more metallic looking, a lot darker. Um, and also his hair. I modified his hair. I just flipped the I noticed the long bang, excuse me, the long bang on his left of his head, your right, is is flipped. I put the large bang on the proper side of his head, and I also added an extra hair accessory to his headband. And this is the end result, which looks way better than what I had before. And also his height. Fun fact: Vincent Valentine is actually taller than 6 feet, or he's about 6 feet. Most people don't know that. They assume he's short or something. Next up is Cloud. Cloud is actually, yeah, he's the right height. Cloud is at the right height. He's pretty. He's not tall. Cloud is about 5'9". He's either 5'8" or 5'9". It always slips my mind, or I always miss it by an inch. But the changes I made to this one is, besides the height, taking advantage of the height sliders, is also the body type. This Cloud is very skinny. This is of course the version based on the PlayStation game from 1997. I also added a gauntlet or a metal ring to his glove there, as you can see, and yeah, it just looks more accurate to how he looks in the game. This is my V2 of Cloud, or my Advent Children Cloud. The only modification I made to him was I took the ribbon off of his arm, because the geostigma is technically on the arm that has the shoulder pad, so he was on the wrong side anyway. And then I took advantage of the accessory slots to just add a little drape. He has a drape over his right leg, which is aesthetically it looks way closer to how he looks in Advent Children. And then of course a little finagling with the coloring of his outfit here. Next up, this is Sora from Kingdom Hearts 4. Fun fact: Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4 wears a red hoodie. You'll probably have to Google search it, but Google search Sora from Kingdom Hearts 4 and take a look at his outfit, and you'll notice the hoodie that he's wearing is actually red, and he has a outer coat. He's actually wearing two coats. It's really intriguing, but yeah, this is pretty accurate. Oh, the only thing I tweaked on him was his height, and I made his head bigger. This is a new character that I added in. I got rid of a few mirror or duplicate characters. This is Kairi from Kingdom Hearts 2. She actually has a school uniform in Kingdom Hearts 2. You rarely get to see it, but it's there. And this color scheme is very accurate to how she looks in Kingdom Hearts 2. This is Riku from Kingdom Hearts 1. He's wearing the Darkness armor. Um, The only tweak I made to him was his height. I just made him short, gave him a lollipop head or a big head, and that's pretty much it. Just took advantage of the new sliders for the update. Next up is Vash the Stampede. The only tweak I made to Vash the Stampede was his height. I made him, tall. Vash is taller than 6 feet, and also he's a skinny dude. So I gave him the C body type, which basically just makes him really skinny. And this is the end result. It's way more accurate to how he looks in the anime. Next up is Quiet. The modifications I made to Quiet were I took advantage of the new accessories from the update, or the increasage of usable accessories, and I gave her the proper glove. She actually wears a military glove on her right hand, and also I finished the glove on her left hand. She's supposed to have a black glove that covers her fingers in their entirety. And as you can see here, I just covered her fingers with another accessory. And I think that's the only tweaks. Nope, incorrect. That is not the only tweaks. Let's get in close here. So as you can see, for Quiet Space, I had to modify her eyes, and of course give her more realistic eyebrows too. She's not an anime character. She's actually based on Miss Houston, or a real life model. So as you can see, I went back and just up the detail. She has some makeup work too. This is not lighting from the game. It's actually makeup. finagling that I did. And this is the end result. It's very hyper realistic, very cool, and very fun to play with. But yeah, this is my quiet that I made for Cobain. We covered Vincent. Here, of course, is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1 from 1997. This is the basically the anime version of the character. That's what he looks like. Um, the only thing I tweaked with him was I gave him a thin body type or body type C, and I also made him tall. Sephiroth is like 6'1". Sephiroth is big. And this is the Advent Children version of Sephiroth or remake Sephiroth. Really Advent Children Sephiroth, given his get up and his shading. The only thing I tweaked with this was really his height. I took advantage of the new height slider, so and I made him super tall, like the previous version of Sephiroth, and that's really it. For Kadaj, I didn't touch anything on Kadaj. I only did use the height sliders, of course, and he's about average height. He's a little tall, but he's about average height. This is a new character. This is Lightning from Final Fantasy 13, I believe is the game she's from, and 13 too. This is totally new, so I'll just do a 360 here, give you a full spin of her. Again, this is Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. This is custom made. I just made it from scratch. It hopefully you'll agree that this is hyper accurate to how she looks in the game too, in her games rather. So you can get a feel for the detail in her face. Very meticulous here. I try to, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I make mistakes and then I freak out. So I you know, stickler for updates. This is Bowsette, or basically Peach dressed like a Bowser. And the only modification I made to her was I took advantage of the height slider, of course. I made her very short, and I also fixed her crown. Her crown originally, or in the previous video, wasn't a queen's crown. It was a king's crown. It didn't have that pink, that fluff that it's supposed to have in the center of it. And as you can see, I went back and fixed it, and it looks a lot more. It looks cooler. This is Mako from Prison School. The only thing I tweaked on her was her body type. I switched her body type to body type B, which is a version of the body type that has a larger bust on the character. And I also reduced her weight so that she's thinner. And this is the end result. It's a lot more accurate to how she looks in the anime. And then of course the height slider I took advantage of. She's a pretty tall girl. 2B from Near Autonoma. The only thing I tweaked on this 2B is probably her weight. Yeah, her weight sliders. I've reduced her weight sliders, and of course the height slider. I made her shorter and increased the size of her head slightly. Get in close here. I don't think I did a close up on this 2B in the previous video. I probably did. So that's all of my Code Vein characters here. Just gonna simply scroll through them. This new height slider is a godsend. It's so awesome, and I love the increasage of slots for accessories too. It really allowed me to go crazy here. A lot of quality of life updates too in this game that are appreciated. Yeah, but this is my Code Vein. I'm gonna turn on my reshade too. Again, I have a reshade for this, and I've been tweaking that reshade, constantly refining it. This is where I am with it right now. So yeah, this is what my game looks like with the reshade on. The reshade pretty much just adds ambient lighting, MXAO, SSDO, modifies heavily the tone map of the game, fixes a lot of the coloring. I'm not a fan of the coloring of the default game, and that among other effects that are caked on here. But this is the end result. This is where my reshade currently is at, and I have to admit I love this reshade. It just fixes a lot of the issues I have personally with the game. Something about the colors. Colors are nice, but too much colors for me is just, it's a headache. Oh, by the way, this is just one of like 15 different reshades I have too. This is just my favorite and the reshade I use by default. So I'm gonna turn it back off here. All right. So yeah, this is Code Vein. I'll update it to the latest patch, and this is, I'm just showing the changes the patch allowed me to make. It's pretty cool. God bless.